Hi, and welcome back to day 2 of the World of Wool Advent Calendar Spin Along. This is a series that I do every December where I spin some yarn every day from the World of Wool Advent Calendar. Yesterday, I spun up Fezziwig, which is this pale blue with hints of pink and a little bit of royal blue Corriedale and Surrey alpaca. And I spun it into our first sock for the advent calendar. Now, I ran into a few issues with this one, but that's how it goes. When you start out, you're just feeling things out. The pattern that I chose wanted us to knit a toe-up sock, which I detest. I don't like knitting toe-up socks. I'd much prefer to do cuff down. So I just used kind of a miniature version of my own favorite vanilla sock pattern. But what I forgot to do is flip the chart in that case. So I ended up with a backwards one, which I think you can only tell if you're like really thinking about it, but other numbers are going to be more obvious. So from here on out, I'll have to remember to knit the charts backwards. The other thing is that my yarn ended up being just a little bit thicker than the commercial fingering weight that I'm using. So you can see that the toe is kind of chonky. But I did remember to Kitchener my toe backwards so that it lays nice and flat. And the chart doesn't matter for the snowflake motif because it's reversible. It's the same on both sides. So that is day 1. Hopefully after today, the toes start to look a little smaller, but I'm gonna hang it up behind me on this little clothesline, I guess. It's gonna be an advent calendar line. Today I did not read ahead. I know what's on the package for today's wool, but I do not know what colors that I'm looking at, so let's open up day 2 and see what we got. Day 2 is called Zuzu's Petals, and Zuzu is not a character that I am familiar with. I don't know where they are from. The blend here is Superwash Merino and Stellina, so we know we're going to be looking at something sparkly when we open this up. The idea of petals also gives me like red vibes, so my expectation is that this is going to be sparkly and red. Let's see if I'm right. Not red. We've got this gorgeous pale kind of rose blush pink, which matches what I'm wearing. I didn't mean for it to. I love the fluff of merino, especially a superwash merino, because everything is so, what's the word I'm looking for? The crimp ends up so consistent. It almost takes the crimp out of it, which I kind of like. It just makes it really easy to spin. So once again, I'm going to take half of this. And if I wanted to be super specific about it, I could weigh it to make sure I get 25 and 25, but I'm not going to be hurting for wool here, so I don't mind if it's a little off. This is so fluffy and gorgeous. I'm gonna try to move it around to see if you can really see the Stellina in there. There's not too much of it. It's such a, subtle effect. I'm gonna set up the wheel and let's start spinning it. Oh wait, no I'm not. I'm gonna read today's letter. I'm gonna read today's snippet, paragraph. Let's learn together about what this blend represents and the choices that were made. Day 2, Zuzu's Petals. Here's the page. 80% superwash merino, 12.5% merino, and 7.5% stellina. If you've not seen It's a Wonderful Life, then put it on your watch list this Christmas. I have never seen It's a Wonderful Life. I know all about it, and I've seen many movies that have kind of done the trope, but I've never seen the original because if I'm honest, black and white movies bore me. But I'll watch it, I'll do research. It's a proper feel-good tearjerker from 1946 and the inspiration for this blend. Zuzu is the daughter of George Bailey, the main character, and gives him some petals to glue back on a rose after they fall apart. These are tucked safely away in his pocket and make an appearance at a pivotal point later in the film. Being such an old film, it's in black and white, which meant we got to use our imagination to bring the petals to life. Oh, that makes sense, since they wouldn't have, colors to look at. But we can assume the colors of a rose, right? We decided to use the pastel tones of our Superwash Merino range to blend a mostly solid shade. By using pastel as a base, we were able to increase its vibrancy with Smoothie and then tone it down with the coolness of Mousse. Finally, we felt that it needed something to give it a little bit of lift, and this was added in the form of our Golden Stellina to represent her famous line, "Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings." While the final blend isn't suitable for those wanting to felt, it's exceedingly spinnable with a gentle handle and machine washing resilience. Perfect. I'm gonna set up the wheel and get to spinning then. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna try to spin this a little finer than yesterday so that I can get a 3-ply sock yarn that's closer to the commercial colors that I have. And to help me do that, I'm just gonna split this in half down the middle. It's just a little easier to spin finer when you start with a finer top. And again, I'll just take a little sample here to make sure I'm about where I'd like to be. It's hard to tell exactly until the yarn is finished. And because all of these yarns are made of different fibers, it's a little hard to get it right every time, but we'll hopefully be close. I think I can actually go finer and with more twist than I have right here right now. So I'm gonna adjust that. The next time you see me, this yarn will be finished and we'll check back in then. So here is the finished yarn for day 2. So you can really see all that gold stellina in there. I have not finished this yarn yet. I haven't washed and dried it. So I'm not 100% sure yet because it can really fluff up once I do that. But right now it looks way closer to the thickness that I need it to be. And if it's still a little too thick, that's trial and error. Tomorrow I'll try to spin even finer. I'm going to pair this with the yellow yarn that I already have in order to kind of bring out the gold that is in this yarn. So when you see me tomorrow, I'll have finished the sock for day 2. Hopefully I'll have done the chart the right way so that you can read that there's a 2 on it. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 3. Bye!